We are live 364 days a year. What are we doing here?
If Dom turns at SummerSlam, I'm shaving my moustache off. I've told you, if that happens, it's going. My lip is cold because of a stupid bet that I made with YouTube.
Oh, good.
Wrestle's better than Daniel Bryan. Bryan Daniels. Better than Okada.
How do you not get 50 after Monday Night Raw?
What's going on, everybody? We're back once again with another edition of Wrestling Republic's daily broadcast. It's Thursday, May 15th. We're going to break down some Dynamite. Fernando in the comments, out of the gates. It's time to light the fuse and ignite this Dynamite review. Yes, sir. Let's get it going today. We've got a sick crew riding with me. Things can get confusing. I've got two guys with the same name. Think about it. My mom is in the comments too. Loves the new intro. You gotta like that. Number one Superfly. It's time to get the tables. It's time to shed some blood. It's time to watch Dynamite on TBS tonight in honor of the Muppet Show. Absolutely. I do want to say one thing before we get the show started, though. We have broken a record today at Wrestling Republic on the daily broadcast. I'll let you know this. We have the highest combined age in the history of a panel. A three-man panel at WR. It's record-breaking season. Let me introduce them to you. First and foremost, I'm going to send it out to Philadelphia. We've got my co-host is sold separately, Anthony Ricciardi. What's going on?
Doing all right. It's always fun to do this. The old stomping grounds of throwback territory, covering the Dynamite. So let's get into it.
Absolutely. Let's keep it geographically on the East Coast, though, before we get into this. And let me introduce our guest. Making his second appearance at WR this week. We saw him Tuesday night on Off the Air, and then you also saw him last week make his debut with me in Big Arch. We've got the Dean of Students over at Ant University. What's going on, my friend? How are you?
What's going on, Big Clark? How you doing, brother? Glad to be here. Talking a little AEW and having a great Thursday afternoon, man.
I had to think about it too. You say AEW and you start thinking Wednesday. I almost called it Wednesday, May 15th myself in the intro. I caught myself there. That could have gotten out of hand. DCX Warlord with "We hurt people, we hurt people." Yep, they do. All capitals. You gotta like that. Maxwell Jacob Friedman out of the gates here. Let's talk about it. He's in. He's a member of the Hurt Syndicate, as far as I'm concerned. Talk to me about what we saw last night, Anthony.
You're right there. This is one of those angles that I gotta be honest, I really have not fully gotten behind. MJF as a whole, I don't know what it is. I feel like there's not a consistent spark with him. Since he got that contract, there are moments of it. There are moments of the old MJF. I don't buy MJF as a character wanting to be in a group. He doesn't like people. And when he's in groups, he typically wants to lead them. I don't think he wants to lead the Hurt Syndicate. It has reminiscence of, I know people have mentioned this, kind of Owen Hart joining the Nation of Domination. It doesn't really... The piece really doesn't fit. I don't like MJF begging. If it went in the angle of the way of going, listen, the Hurt Syndicate hurts people physically. I could physically hurt people, but MJF's greatest gift is verbally hurting people. That's not the direction they went. It went very much him begging, trying to buy his way in. I gotta be honest, it's not the MJF character. The MJF character is a scumbag. This isn't a scumbag. This is a begging, pleading scumbag that it doesn't fit to me. It's not true to the character. It's very watered down. So I'm kind of lukewarm on this thing, to be perfectly honest. I liked the segment last night. It was funny, but that's not MJF. MJF's heartless. He cuts people down with a mic. That's MJF. This isn't MJF.
See, I think that's kind of the brilliance here is MJF is going to take the Hurt Syndicate down from the inside. He's the slimiest of slimy. He tells great stories when you pair him with people because he's so untrustworthy. So I do like the idea of MJF having to sort of not be MJF to grovel his way into the group. Once he's there, he abuses the privilege.
But I mean, that really didn't work with the Adam Cole thing. It didn't work with the singing and dancing with Jericho. Like that,
Oh, that worked. Like dinner Deb on air? Come on, that worked. That
that's
was
lesser
electric.
MJF. You're either going to be heartless or you're going to be
That was
goofy. You got
outstanding.
to choose a side in this situation.
And then here's the other thing that I liked about this is it gets us to next week. This contract signing, I'm really curious about because they just keep nudging the piece along. It's not like big moves, right? They're just one step at a time, one step at a time. And I actually like that because I think this is going to pay off. A lot of people in the comments here are predicting the potential return of Cedric Alexander debuting next week, or not return, but return to the Hurt business, Hurt Syndicate. Fernando's eyes as well with, I think Cedric Alexander is going to appear at the last minute during the contract signing and the Hurt Syndicate will turn on MJF. That's possible too. And if that happens, I think MJF is going to have a response. But I do, Ant, you got to ask you your thoughts on MJF's role with the Hurt Syndicate, the potential of Cedric debuting, and just what we've seen from this storyline thus far.
So after watching AEW last night, I got a lot of recycled WWE bits. I know you said, I know Anthony, you said it looked like Owen Hart joining with the Nation of Domination. To me, it seemed more like Sami Zayn joining the Bloodline. But yeah, it was just it's not what I know MJF for. I thought the MJF Adam Cole story was great until the ending of it, but the friendship in between was good. And so I see MJF just doing a lot of things like Sami did. I'm pretty sure they're going to have him attack one of his friends and see how it goes. But I'm a big fan of Bobby Lashley, huge fan of Bobby Lashley, and I think adding MJF will humanize him a little bit and make him a little bit more relatable to all fans. So it should be good. Should be good.
I think that's a really good call. And you brought up something cool that I hadn't thought about. I forgot how much I actually loved the MJF and Adam Cole pairing, which is what was the springboard to the storyline itself. The ending left such a bad taste. I forgot, like, I loved the double clothesline stuff, cracked me up. I get the crane kick was corny, but the Outback Steakhouse
Kangaroo kick.
Kangaroo kick. I mean, it is technically a crane kick that he delivers, but he called it the kangaroo kick. But I'm just saying the Outback Steakhouse segments, them tagging together, the like being like, are we really friends? Are we not?
Who's going to turn on who?
It was fun. It was fun in the beginning.
The pop when they hit the double clothesline finally was great. Like, so I think MJF can do a great job in the Hurt Syndicate. When they kick him out, it's gonna break everyone's heart.
See, I think it's gonna go the opposite way this time, and we're gonna get back to like the worst of the worst MJF, where once he's in, he starts to abuse the privilege, and he's slimy enough that, you know, the Hurt Syndicate starts sort of doing his bidding, and that's how we end up with the turn on her. Maybe that's wishful thinking, or even how I would do it creatively, personally. Like that story makes more sense to me because it's also unique. We've sort of seen him do that with the Inner Circle, right? Where, you know, he was trying to endear himself to Jericho and the rest of the crew. And then once he got in, he started asking people what to do too much. And then BJ Dixon added, yeah, he also loved Better Than You, Baby. I think that's what made the end of the storyline so disappointing is that was really fun at first.
Them switch. Well, I get it, the injury thing, but the switching of who's the baby face and who's the heel, the devil thing, that was destined for failure.
Really hurt. It really hurt. Yeah, that was I think the biggest downfall of the storyline, and then even some of like the question marks about Adam Cole's return.
You have to fight all my friends to face me. Like you have to like it's just like the whole thing was a disaster.
And like the question marks surrounding Cole's return from the ankle injury. whisperers behind the scenes, at least.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? That
Mhm.
that hurt the storyline. It made it almost impossible to take it seriously because it was just like too much time where it was sitting on a back burner somewhere. Like, right? It's like if you leave the best steak in the world under a heat lamp long enough, it's too well done.
It was one of those
You
things
know?
that they shouldn't have. I know Kobe disagrees with me all the time. They shouldn't have went straight into that story. You could have went other directions and then gone back to it when it would have sort of made sense. It did not make sense, and they shouldn't have done it when they
Yeah.
did it.
I mean, I still think Max is the best microphone player in AEW, despite him playing a sort of a lesser role on the mic of late, not being as sharp tongued as we've come to expect. And I think I'm waiting for when it is Max cutting something one-on-one with MVP. MJF, MVP matchup on the microphone. That I think there's a lot in, and however we have to navigate this ship to get there, as long as we get paid off in that way, I think it'll be worth it. That's at least my opinion.
Yeah, Max does his best work when he has somebody that can go toe to toe with him on the mic. When he's trying to carry the whole thing, he, as good as he is, there are some people he just can't carry.
But before we get there, I really think MJF talking for Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin is going to be, because neither one of them are great on the mic,
No.
and that's where you're going to have the conflict with him and MVP, because
Mhm.
because MJF is going to be talking for the group, and it's
Trying to take MJF's trying to take MVP's spot as the spokesman or the voice of the group. Yeah, that's the logical move if this goes further than next week. Let's
Sort of just scam them from the inside. You know what I mean?
I have your best interest at heart, or whatever.
Yeah.
Exactly. Almost like the ill-fated Jeff Jarrett thing, where he's like, "Oh, we'll partner up," and obviously that went nowhere. But along the same lines of, "I'm trying to take your spot," or that type of thing.
Okay, by the way, this is true. The mashup was, or no, wait. Well, I think it'll result in Bobby and MJF match it all out. I'd be cool with that for sure. That makes sense. But this one cracked me up. The mashup was the best part of Better Than You, baby, from DCX Warlord.
The movie, the music, yeah.
Yeah, it was. It was fun. The music was fun. Okay, let's move on to our next topic, though, because I'll tell you what, I did not expect Zach Gowen to be in
2025.
Not on my bingo card.
No, I did not have
on my
that
bingo
one.
card.
No, none
Nope.
of ours.
No, but he had Ricochet, and I'll tell you what, as soon as Ricochet gets those scissors, he gets the crowd going. I got to give him credit, man. Some of the stuff is landing. Is it a little bit corny? Sure. I think it works in some sense, though. It gets under your skin. He's starting to make me laugh almost too much now, is my only fear. Right before it was cringe, and now he's getting close to like the Dom thing, where it's so over the top ridiculous. It's funny to me, like the bald head thing and the way he just gets so upset. It's like it's I don't know how to explain it, but it's so annoying. It's funny. If that makes any sense.
The way that he was bouncing around the ring before the match last night, that was gold. That was
hilarious. And just like the outfits and stuff, Anthony, I know though.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
I know what you think. Talk to me about it.
Yeah, I gotta be honest. The Ricochet doesn't do it for me. I gotta be honest. I think the scissors are more over than he is. The guy can't cut a promo. I'm sorry. And him being bald being over, like real okay. But when I look at this, the match was what it was. It is wild looking at Zach Gowen still wrestling all these years. It was wild to me when the announcer said 23 years he's been in the business. I don't know when other opportunity I'm going to get to talk about Zach Gowen unless it's a throwback somewhere down the road. But looking at Zach Gowen, it really is inspirational. Like when you look at it, there's no logical reason this guy's wrestling in the professional wrestling business. And for 23 years, he's done it. Showing that if you really, truly want something, you could possibly get it. And he's done that. So I give him a lot of credit. I thought it was a very cool moment. that Tony Khan gave Zach last night, that he got to perform in front of his wife and kids, who were not a thing during his WWE run many years ago. And he got to do that, which I think is a very cool thing for him, because chances are he's probably never wrestling in WWE again. I don't expect this to be a long-term thing, but just him being able to get that opportunity, say whatever you want about professional wrestling, that's a really cool thing that he got to be able to do that. You know, I'm hoping this doesn't get drawn out. Like, I don't need more Ricochet against Zach Gowen.
No, we don't need it to.
You're doing your thing. You know, I'm fine with that. The Ricochet thing, like I said, doesn't work for me.
That's the worst part. I will admit. Like, I'm in agreement there. It's the worst.
I mean, I feel like he really hasn't changed his style much either. Like, if you want to be a truly dark character, if you're really trying to truly fix, you cut up Swerve with scissors. You should be as dark as humanly possible. That's where you should be going. You're still doing the flippy crap, just with a goofy laugh now. Like, that's why I can't connect to it. Like, I need to buy in, and what you're presenting is not anything for me to buy in on.
We got a bunch of comments to run through here. Fernando said this was a fun match, and then BJ Dixon is in agreement. He was surprised and inspired by Zach's performance.
Yeah,
this is a great match to put heat on Ricochet. Number one, Superfly agrees, a good match. This cracked me up here. Ricochet stole Anthony Bowen's scissors. That, with Bowens being a babyface right now, might be a nice little rivalry to have, though. I didn't think about that. You can talk about the scissors, use that motif, and like you mentioned, Anthony, the scissors are over. That part of the equation is over.
My only problem is, like, he didn't change the music, he didn't change the look, he doesn't change his style. It's still the same style. Like, you need to fully embrace that. And like, granted, I know he's got health issues now, but for the longest time, you have Jake Roberts backstage. How are you not under the learning tree of Jake Roberts on how to play a sinister, almost serial killer sounding promos with him backstage? He's the king of that.
Now, I will say one thing. Ricochet's voice, I don't know if that lends to Jake.
He might not be able to do it, but if Jake was healthy, Jake as a manager for him,
it'd be great.
To me, that was the move you needed to make. And I think I even said that to you either on or off air. I know I said that to you when he originally turned.
I truthfully think if he's going to go all the way, I always make the joke about he's my favorite Irish wrestler, Rick O'Shea.
Yes.
Right? And start doing the McGregor strut out to the ring.
Yeah, and start using like shamrocks in your logo, that type of stuff.
Fur coats and like the sunglasses. Just go be Conor McGregor as Ricochet.
I agree with that.
That would be the most annoying heel in the whole industry.
But again, that's a different look, different feel. That works. What he's doing now with the
but I think he's like halfway there, because even Conor has like a really annoying laugh, and he's got like the.
But
you know what I mean?
But it feels more like poor Seth when he's doing it, because it's like Seth's notorious for it.
Seth needs to stop with the laugh, period.
But I'm just saying, like, Seth's notorious for it, so it doesn't land as well if Ricochet was doing it and Seth wasn't. You know what I mean? If it was different.
But like I said, it seemed like another recycled WWE thing to me, because it's like, oh, well, Montez Ford, you're going to hit someone with somebody's prosthetic leg. We're going to have Ricochet carry Zach.
Listen, but which I do appreciate the weird attempt at consistency of going, he stole it last week, so Zach had no leg for an entire week is what the argument's it's going to be.
Right.
I mean, it is super weird, though. The style thing, I don't want to circle back to that for too long, but Anthony, like, that's a great point. Like, he still feels like he's wrestling from underneath at times.
Yes. And you're doing you're doing the flipping stuff, which is more babyface-esque, if you want to make that argument.
It's very true. Okay, let's do some ads really quickly, though, here. My friends, let's talk about Wrestling Republic's Undercard. It's our second channel. Subscribe to it. It's Wrestling Republic Undercard, exclusive videos, clips, and more. And best part, sold separately is going to be over there. So if you want to check out collectibles, action figures, all of that, me and Ant will be there very shortly. I don't even know if the first one's up yet. I should check.
First one should be going up tomorrow. I believe it's
Tomorrow.
still coming out on Fridays. As far as I know, unless Ben changes it, it's still coming out on Fridays. But I believe the one that's popping up tomorrow is the Owen Hart CM Punk Zombie Sailor. I believe that's the one that's going up tomorrow.
Love
Can't
that.
wait to
And
watch
then
it.
Even
Thank
better,
you.
if you want to hear me and the other Ant, go ahead and download the EFT app on the App Store or the Google Play Store and head to the upcoming stream section. We're there most Saturday mornings, pretty much every Saturday morning now. Ant's on way more often than me. I need to catch up. I'm behind when it comes to my Itsy volume, but I will be there on Saturday if we're doing a live stream. I guarantee it. And the best part is, as long as you got a cell phone, you don't even have to put yourself on camera if you don't want to. You can jump on and argue with me, and you, Takes, We the Ones, people like that, all kinds of awesome wrestling creators. You get your shot. If you don't like what I think about Cody Rhodes, pack a lunch. It'll be a heck of an argument, but please do join the live streams. You'll enjoy it, I assure you. Let's keep today's show rolling, my friends, and let's talk about Mina Shirakawa. She pinned the champion and did not win the title. I hate this. This is such an old WWE trope when they do this, but so what? It was a great match, and better yet, old theme music. Her old theme music, little nostalgia action. And who doesn't like a nice old school inside cradle? Owen Hart would be proud of that one. No doubt about it. Mina Shirakawa, a great challenger. I do think we're eventually getting to Toni Storm and the CEO, Mercedes Moné, but this is a nice matchup along the way. Talk to me about your thoughts on this title challenger match last night, 4-way, and sorry, go ahead.
So for the simple fact that it was fatal 4-way and the amount of talent that they had in the match, from AZM, Sky Blue, Mina Shirakawa, and Toni Storm, the champion, all being in the match. It was really good. Mina Shirakawa, her gimmick is a little weird to me, but she's starting to grow on me every day, right? The dancing, the just having fun. Like for the simple fact that she pinned Toni Storm, who hasn't been pinned all year, is huge for her. So they have history with each other. It's going to be good. Other than that, man, it was just, I thought all around it was a good match. I think some of the spots were a little shaky, but I mean, that happened all night. But it definitely pulled my interest, kept my interest. And I'm excited to see at All In Mina Shirakawa versus Toni Storm.
No doubt about it. I'm stoked about it too. It's a great matchup. And like I said, it's the perfect sort of preview to Mercedes and Toni, which is what the end game is. Let's be honest with ourselves, right? That is what I think we're building to. They're the two biggest stars in the AEW women's division currently. And they're also the two biggest stars that have yet to cross paths. There's a reason when, Toni cut that promo a few weeks back where she listed off half the division. She named the CEO an unfortunate nickname, right? First. I loved that promo. I thought it was amazing, but there's a reason that she was number one on the list, not like last, not in the middle, right? That was the name she said out of the gates.
But the problem,
go ahead.
The one problem is, do you keep the belts on both of them? Are you doing title for title? When would you do this clash? Because if you're merging the titles or you're having one become two belts, or in Monet's case, I don't know, 5, I don't know what she's got at this point. Does that help the TBS title to, you know what I mean? How does that really help?
Honest to goodness, the way that I might do it is,
now, unless you have Mercedes cost Toni, but then at that point, what sense would that make? Because wouldn't you think Mercedes would want the AEW Women's Championship.
I'm almost thinking maybe the opposite. Tony cost Mercedes. That's a great question, though. I mean, hang on. Fernando did. I wanted to read this comment because he said Sky Blue was great all the time she had off from injury. Yeah, she looked like she didn't miss a beat. 100%. I did want to mention that, but yeah, not booking Timeless Tony Storm versus Mercedes at All In would be, that'd be business malpractice. That's hilarious. Yeah, I mean. That's the matchup. That's the problem.
I honestly, I think All In, they're probably going Mercedes and Athena. I think that it wasn't that what was teased. Well, it's in Texas. Why wouldn't you?
I guess.
Athena's been in Ring of Honor purgatory for how long?
That's a good point.
Like, the woman needs to get to the actual show.
And we all know how good Athena is, too. That is actually an excellent point.
Because that's the smart move to get the belt off of Mercedes. And then you could do the Tony Storm at All Out or something like that. To me, that's where you got. Plan. I think that's what you got to do.
Be getting off. All the belts are going to be taken off Mercedes.
Yeah,
she just lost the one to AZM over in New Japan.
Yeah,
and that's why she attacked her last night.
Yes,
right. But yeah, I think that's how you get to Tony Storm.
Yes,
versus Mercedes Moné. She has to lose all the titles, go through. Just a crash out period. I hate saying that so much.
Yeah,
so everybody's a crash out now. But I mean, like she's got to just lose everything, and then boom, she's gonna beat Tony Storm.
Yeah.
One thing I'll give AEW credit for, we've seen a lot of different, like a lot of people carrying belts in wrestling over the years. When Kenny was belt collector in AEW, they did that pretty gracefully. The way that, like, okay, he lost to Christian on Dynamite, then he defends at All Out, then he loses them slowly but surely and changes the character.
They weren't clean.
They did a lot of that. I felt like tastefully for considering the situation where you're trying to get 5 belts off a guy without really damaging him, right? Like,
yeah,
because the Hangman story was the precipice of it, but it was really only about the world title in that regard.
I always thought they missed the boat with the Kenny thing because they had him lose hear me out. They had him lose the title to Christian. Wasn't clean. Then he went to Mexico and he was defending against Andrade. I always thought it was a smart move if you would have had Christian's music hit, distract him, then you could have had Andrade win, and then Christian could have went, I cost you 2 belts. I'm going to cost you a 3rd at All Out when I face you for the world title. I thought that would have built something more to it.
Instead, he had a reverse order, though, wasn't it?
No, it was the Impact TNA, then it was the AAA, and then All Out was for the AEW World Championship.
That's right. Well, yeah, because I was at that All Out. That was 2021, wasn't it?
20, possibly. Yeah, 21 or 20. Yeah, 21.
21 would have been the one, I think.
Yeah,
I think a slow move having Mercedes lose the belts gives you time if Bayley does want to come over to AEW.
Well, that would be huge.
I thought she just signed a longer term deal. I mean, WWE could let her go. I'm just saying. I feel like we just saw something recently, but I could be wrong.
A lot of people are saying like that it's possible, like the Bayley to AEW route is looking more possible than ever. Which I mean, I don't know anything about it, unfortunately. Like, I wish I had scoop. We don't really do dirt sheet stuff here anyway, obviously, but like at the same time, it's like on paper, I actually do think Bayley, a little resurgence in AEW wouldn't hurt anybody. I think it'd be great. I think she'd be excellent over there.
And if you put her back with Sasha, I mean, just look at the matchups that you could have, man. Bayley versus Sky Blue would be great.
They do not get enough credit for the Bayley Dose straps and then Sasha era. Like, that Ding Dong Hello was hilarious. I don't care who you are. That was so dang funny. Like, it was golden because it was so obnoxious and you knew why. She just kept cutting the hair shorter and shorter, and then the hello would get higher and higher pitched week by week in the Thunderdome. Like, it was pure comedy, I thought. The whole time I was like, it was actually brilliant. But let's move on to our main event, the main event, the whole 9. Jon Moxley, Samoa Joe steel cage match. We knew there'd be shenanigans unless they put a roof on that thing. There's no way. There's not enough locks in the world to keep everybody out of this one. What I did not have on my bingo card, was Gabe Kidd being the one to help John Moxley. Of course, John Moxley levels Samoa Joe with that briefcase right in the head. Briefcase allegedly carries the title. We're not really sure. It hasn't been opened in like 6 months. But at the end of the day, John Moxley stands tall once again. And we now get Anarchy in the arena. The Young Bucks come in after the match. They do their thing. I'm excited about this. Kenny, I love Anarchy in the arena. It's a unique concept. They took what the magic of Stadium Stampede, which I think is one of the most brilliant matches AEW ever put on, the original one, because during the pandemic, what else could you do using the entire stadium? Jaguars is so entertaining. They took the magic of that and applied it, gave it a concept that works with the crowd. And, you know, it's a time to sort of just let loose. Obviously, you're not going to see the most technical wrestling match in an Anarchy in the arena match, but it will be chaos. It will be long. It's going to be fun. I've enjoyed them so far. I think it's really, really well thought out. Gabe Kidd, being an addition to that, can sort of play the Eddie Kingston role in my eyes, if that makes sense, where he does something gnarly, maybe. I don't know, right? We've seen Gabe Kidd put himself through some crazy stuff over in New Japan. The guy can go with anybody in the world. I'm excited about the entire concept. And I'm going to go to you first, and then Anthony, we'll finish up with you. But what were your thoughts on the main event, and then, of course, the booking of Anarchy in the arena?
So anytime you get Samoa Joe in a match, I'm watching it. I love the way Samoa Joe works. He's one of my favorites. The match was crazy. Like, the guarantee that Moxley is gonna bleed is getting hilarious now. Like, Moxley can't go 20 minutes in a match without bleeding. But having the Young Bucks come out and as you guys said, Gabe Kidd showing up, surprising everybody when he pulled the hood back. The pop in the arena, like, you could feel, like, there's certain times you can feel when people are excited, and they were excited to see Gabe Kidd. So Anarchy is going to be exactly what it's called. I'm definitely going to be watching that, and yeah, dude, just chaos ensued. And Swerve Strickland in Anarchy is
Swerve, to me, is my favorite AEW current wrestler. Everything he does to me turns to gold. Like, I don't think he gets enough credit. Of all of the WWE to AEW signings, right? If you had on your bingo card, who's going to elevate themselves the most? If you had Swerve and Tony Storm, which I think are the two that have,
yes,
you had a crystal ball.
I feel like everyone else, their stock went down or remained the same.
The same.
Yeah.
And those two completely changed the narrative about themselves.
Yes.
Swerve Strickland is a star, like a superstar. I know, not trying to go full cliche, but you know what I mean? Like, it's just, it is what it is. I thought he was awesome last night on this. Gabe Kidd, like you said, when the hood came off, come on, man. Can you imagine a Gabe Kidd Swerve Strickland match in AEW too? I was tantalized by that idea because they were just in the same venue yesterday, right?
I think everybody else that came over from WWE to AEW were already such established superstars.
Yeah.
That there was nowhere for them to go.
That's true.
But, like, you know, like you said, Tony and Swerve Strickland, like, they were just allowed to finally be themselves.
I still think
and
about,
show
like,
what they could do.
Obviously, Keith Lee's got the health stuff, right? But, like, Keith Lee, Adam Cole, Adam
Cole probably lost more stock than anybody else that went over, and that's pre-injury. I'm not talking about the injury, but like, he went over as the guy. Like, he was the longest reigning NXT champion. There was a lot of momentum behind him.
Truthfully, Miro, Rusev. That was a bizarre run. Bizarre.
Well, that was bizarre. Malachi kind of started hot, then disappeared. FTR,
FTR's been good. there's an argument. Well, I mean, you think about the Briscoes match, but
there's
a
lot of start stops with FTR's run
true.
as a
That's
whole.
true.
So
Yeah.
you know what I
That's
mean?
fair.
It has not been,
Yes, and Fernando added Gabe Kidd being involved in Anarchy in the
Yeah.
arena is so dope. Yeah, it is.
Mhm.
He's perfect for that match. Realistically, like you couldn't draw up
Yeah.
a better guy to insert in that match. I'm excited for it no matter what. But Anthony, obviously, I got to give you your time here.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts on the Gabe Kidd interference, Moxley's victory over Samoa Joe, and then, of course, leading us into Anarchy in the arena?
I absolutely have to agree with the other ant. Anytime Samoa Joe's in something, I'm interested. The steel cage match, I thought the only knock I'm going to have on that is I almost feel like you should have tried to make the deal to be commercial free, because when you come back for the commercial and like, oh yeah, Moxley got busted open, like you missed like that crucial moment. At least do it when the cameras are on, or do commercial free. That was my only thought. I've said this before and I've said this again, and I will keep saying this. The Death Riders, this is the takeover that went nowhere. This is the second takeover that's gone nowhere. Like, you can't take over a company when we know Tony Khan is running the company. We literally saw him last night with MJF. Like, what are you taking over? You literally have a belt and a briefcase, and the owner doesn't care. So what you decided to do was you took a second crappy takeover storyline, and we're now going to merge it with the first crappy takeover storyline, and by your powers combined, you still have a crappy storyline that's going nowhere. The match itself, the Anarchy, will be a great concept. The Gabe Kidd factor, shocker, get it, would have made more sense to bring him in if you set up the Anarchy match and the Death Riders are down a person, and Kenny and Gabe Kidd have history from the match that took place in Japan that AEW pretends didn't happen, but it did happen. You could retcon this and combine that. You're going to need to explain why Gabe Kidd is suddenly with the Death Riders, why the Bucks are with them. The only other thing is, as cool as Swerve is, believability standpoint, you have 8 people, and he's one guy, and they all left the ring. You're telling me 8 guys ran away from one guy? At least do something where it's, give me something. Even when Austin ran into a group of people, he started stunning some people. There's something
weapon
there.
Anthony, you brought up a great point. I'm sorry. That's the only reason I camera cut. A weapon would have been really smart there.
Dude, something. A bat.
The staple
Crowbar.
gun.
Yes.
The staple gun.
Dude,
Bring the staple gun.
You need something.
Yeah.
Him just going in the ring and they'll go, all right, we're out. Like, you have 8 people.
Heck, freaking pull a knife or
Eight-
do something wild.
Do something. You got to give me something. Like, just the visual didn't work. Will the match be great? I'm not questioning the quality of the match. And that's never been AEW's problem. The match quality has never been the issue. Their issue is consistency and storytelling. Like, that's not a story. You just kind of, again, threw random people together to do another Anarchy. You're not even fighting for the soul of AEW. You're not making
and the other
that
question
argument.
is, like, I mean, how have we even built up Swerve's side in this equation? Like,
that's my only issue. I don't.
who are his friends?
The logic with this stuff is just
You
going.
get Kenny, Hangman, and who?
The logic with this story is just going, well, it's a great match, and I'm going, that's all well and good, but you got to do storytelling. That's what sells tickets. That's what draws attention. Just doing these people against those people with no story.
Okay,
Here's what
seriously
got me
though.
last night.
Go ahead.
Sorry. Just
No, you
what
go
got me
first.
Last night. So not to bash on the AEW, but
No.
you've got these people getting destroyed in the ring. Swerve's music hits.
Yeah.
He comes walking out so Prince Nana can get his dance on. And
Yes.
he's just slow strolling to the ring.
It's Jeff Hardy
And
rescuing his
everybody just
brother.
stops and looks.
Yeah.
Everyone stops and looks. Like you're beating down people and then you just stop and look.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, that did not make sense to me last night. There's a lot of stuff that didn't make sense, but that's for a different podcast.
Okay, so also the other thing is he said, and lady. So looks like we're gonna get Shafir on the Death Rider side.
And
I'm
I guess
guessing
Willow on the
Nightingale.
AEW
Yes,
side?
Willow Nightingale on the AEW side. But then here's the other thing. So then it's what? Swerve, Kenny,
Willow.
Mm-hmm.
Willow. Is it? I bet it's 5-on-5. So Joe,
would be a given.
and then Hangman is got to be the fourth man.
Is Hangman well? Are you going to put anybody from Joe's stable in there too? Like that's the other factor.
Oh yeah, the ops, the hookster. You know me, I'm a hookamaniac.
I
Let me tell
mean,
you something, brother.
like
You don't
that's
even
the-
know me.
Comes down to the
But the thing is it
I eat my chips and say my prayers every week.
is it 4-on-4? Is it 8-on-8? Because technically there were like 8 people in the the quasi whatever this.
8-on-8 would actually be pretty wicked.
I'm just
to be
saying, like
honest.
there were 8 people. Like, which ones are you not
Imagine.
including?
If they
I mean,
just did,
if
like,
Hook is going to be
everyone
on
fight.
Joe's team, then the Death Riders needs at least 3 more people.
Yeah, because what are the Death Riders going to do? It's going to be Moxley. Is it going to be Moxley, Yuta,
Claudio, Gabe,
Claudio, Shafir, Gabe, Pac?
Pac's. I'm assuming Pac's injured, which is why he wasn't there, right?
That'd be my guess.
That's why they threw Gabe in because they didn't have
Yeah.
Pac. I would assume.
Yeah, Gabe's the new Pac. That makes sense.
Gabe's the new Pac. Go ahead.
That one adds up, mathematically
The
speaking.
the mass mathin.
I can see it. I can see it now. Gabe's the new Pac. Either way, someone print that, by the way. That'd be the funniest. Clark Taylor says Gabe Kidd is the new Pac. I just hope that the headline gets confused as Tupac, not the wrestler.
As long as Darby Allin is nowhere around. As long
Well,
No,
as
he's
I don't
climbing
see
Mount
Darby Allin.
Everest.
No. He finished Everest, so he can come back with his flamethrower
He
and
already
set somebody
did
on
it?
fire again. I believe so.
Yeah, he finished Everest.
He
That's
survived.
sick.
He survived the mountain.
He got all the way up.
I believe so.
It's
I,
huge.
just, I don't need to see
mean,
him
listen.
on my TV.
I mean, listen. If he died on the mountain, AEW has done a phenomenal job of covering that up.
Can you imagine the coffin drop off the mountain?
Stop. Darby Allin is a less talented Spike Dudley.
Oh, absolutely.
Whoa.
That
I
is
like
on the
Darby.
shirt.
He's a crash dummy. It's all-
I like Darby.
I agree with you. He's Spike Dudley that was inspired by Jeff Hardy.
Darby's crazy. I don't know. Okay, wait,
look.
look.
He's the
Less
reason
talented.
he's the reason the Grim Reaper has a drinking problem.
Powerhouse, Chuck Cage with Powerhouse, Samoa, Wrestler, Hook,
You mean
Willow
Shibata?
versus Max. Yeah. And the Death Riders.
Well, you got to throw the Bucks in there. They're throwing themselves around.
Yeah, the Bucks want to be in it, I think, too.
That would be phenomenal. You do
Of
Anarchy
course
in the
they
Arena.
do.
The Bucks aren't even in it. They just appeared. For
Yeah, they just
for the
wanted to
whole
talk
bucket.
about it.
We
They
just
wanted
came
to talk
out.
about it.
We don't actually be in the
A
match.
lot of it were like, anarchy, not up our alley, not these days.
We've done this
Right.
before. Somebody got caught on fire last time we were in one.
We, as the
Yeah.
old Bucks, are not participating in
Well,
this.
you got to
thing.
remember Okada popped up last night too.
Yeah.
The only
Yeah,
person that didn't show up was Jungle Boy.
Maybe they'll be like the Milwaukee Bucks. They're just out. You know?
Just a bit outside.
Sorry. I had to. Shout out Giannis, though. Go to the Bulls. Either way, so that does bring us to the end of today's show. I hope everyone has an excellent rest of their Thursday. I hope you enjoyed Dynamite. On behalf of me, Clark, Anthony, and you, everybody here at WR, thank you so much. We'll be back same time, same place tomorrow. That's noon Pacific, 3 o'clock in the East, 8 o'clock in the UK, and of course, 9 a.m. for my friends in Hawaii. We will talk to you soon. Have a good one.